Andreas Krüger, how do you define your work? How do you define yourself and your job?
I guess me and my team, we are intermediates. We are city makers. We try to bring on the table all relevant partners. Let's say it's a stakeholder monitoring on first hand, and then trying to organize the whole dialogue process. This is missing in every stage of a project development. It's not usually like this only in Germany. I guess it's all over Europe as far as I experienced.
Could you quote a few examples of your work, mainly in Berlin?
In Berlin, we were able to manage to transform a whole former inner city place, which was close to the inner city Berlin wall in Kreuzberg, the Moritzplatz, Place de Maurice in French, I guess. And actually, there was an empty building, the former Bechstein piano factory, and other empty spaces, and we were able to collect the right group of people to develop it step by step. And actually, it was a very good example of interaction between the policymakers, politicians, the administration, the people who were living there, and we coming as a department store for creatives, and then starting very thoroughly bringing all these people to a table and discussing what is needed on this side of town. And we had a process time of 2 years. It wasn't too rushy.
And what about Holesmart?
Later on, after we started to, let's say, to build all the buildings and the urban farming projects in the co-working spaces around Moritzplatz in the same district of Berlin, Kreuzberg, another team of club owners started their project, which is called Holesmart, like the wood market close to the Spree River, and they were able to manage to get like a big piece of land very close to the Alexanderplatz, also building it with creative industries, people, artists, and people who want to do their own thing. So it's a piece of freedom and trying to bring it to the inner city areas, not being an artist, a special person which is in the outskirts or in the cellars or somewhere in big factories somewhere out of town. It's in the inner city area, and it's a very interesting project to visit.
And how do you manage to make these utopian projects come real to the reality? How do you find the funding, and how do you make it possible?
We were very lucky, and also the Holesmart project and some others like the Flussbad, like the bathing in the Spree River, the Radbahn, which is a bicycle track through the city, all these initiatives, all these projects, we're very happy finding the right politicians in Berlin and finding also private money and public money. So the willingness these days in good economy, we have to admit, to find the right funding isn't so hard as long as you are trustworthy partner of the politicians, of the ones who have the money, and you have to be professional and to professionalize the whole scenery of city makers, of civil society actors. This is also an aim of the initiatives of Berlin.
Andreas Krüger, could you tell us more about the roundtables concerning land and housing policies?
As talking about the civil society initiatives, there is this very strong movement of these initiatives in Berlin since ever. But since the last 5 or 6 years, we were able to implement a roundtable of property policy in the Berlin Parliament. We just started like a guerrilla action the first time, and then everybody thought we have the permission, and in the next month we will have the 23rd Roundtable of Property Policy. We have like the Senate, which is invited from us, so like senators and state secretaries and other major representatives of the administration and the politics are with us, but also at the table and in the audience, like up to 250 people attending every 2 months, and they are able to propose how we should handle things in Berlin concerning residential areas, bringing in concept bidding processes, bringing in leasehold, have a moratorium of selling pieces of land, of public land, and we were able to manage to bring in from the round table almost everything which was proposed over there into the coalition contract of the new red-green government of Berlin.
Thank you, Andreas Krüger, and good luck for the next step.
Thank you. Thank you very much.